I had never thought that I would be sharing something like this in a video. And until a few years back, I didn't even know that what I was feeling even had a name. But today, here we are, clearly discussing the imposter syndrome. A lot of times, when I have achieved something, like when I got the highest score in my batch, or when I was certified as a neuroscience coach or neurolinguistic programming coach, or even when I make these YouTube videos and somebody appreciates what I have shared, sometimes I just feel like I am not qualified enough to deserve the success that I have. And that thing makes me feel like a fraud and an imposter who is trying to act like somebody else. So now my question is, has it ever happened to you? Has it ever happened that somebody complimented you or said something wonderful and you thought that they do not know the full story about who I really am? Or maybe you achieved something and you felt like it was just luck and anybody could have achieved it. Or maybe you are in a group of people and you feel like everybody there is super smart and you are the only one who is not that smart, and you feel like you just mistakenly made it there and you do not belong. If you have ever felt something like this, you are not weak and you are definitely not alone. 6 out of 10 people tend to experience imposter syndrome. When I first got to know about it, I asked 5 of my really smart friends whether they had felt something like that, and they said that they keep on feeling this every now and then. That's when I realized that I was not alone. Then I read a lot about it, researched more on it, and what I found was really interesting. I found that people who experience this are the people who are the most hardworking, people who really care, people who want to grow, and people who have set high standards for themselves. So, no, this feeling does not mean that you are not capable. Sometimes imposter syndrome can even help us to be better at what we do. But the problem is that it can lead to unwanted stress and self doubt, which can sometimes break our confidence. So, let me share the reason behind self doubt and what we can do about it, the solutions that I have learned from my own experience. First, let's talk about the cause behind imposter syndrome. From a very early time, social acceptance has been an important part of our life. So we tend to think of our successes and failures from the perspective of others. So we are always in this race to impress people and feel socially accepted. But then we have two sides. We have our strengths and we also have our weaknesses. We normally do not show our weaknesses to others, so it remains within ourselves or within the reach of people very close to us. For example, I keep my room really messy. Sometimes I end up mindlessly scrolling through reels. A lot of times I also have junk food, miss out on my productive routine, and stay very less productive. But when I'm coaching somebody to lead a better life, the other person does not know that I have this messy and vulnerable side. But I know my in and out, I know my strengths, and I know my weaknesses. So when I'm teaching somebody to lead a better life, I know that I do not have perfect habits. I do not have a perfect life. So that can make me feel like I'm just acting as a coach and I'm not a real coach. That's how imposter syndrome can be born. So, whenever you are comparing your life with someone who holds a similar position, like if you are an athlete, and when you look at the life of other athlete, we might have this false belief that the other person does not have the private, messy, vulnerable side of their life. But we know everything about ourselves. So this can make us see ourselves as someone lower to them. The first step to dealing with the imposter syndrome is to understand that you are not alone. This is a valid feeling and anyone can feel it even when they are perfectly capable. If you want to go a step ahead, you can make a list of things that makes you believe that you are capable of doing things, and another list which makes you believe that you are an imposter. For example, if you have been appointed as a new team lead, in the first column, you might write things like you are an empathetic person, you are good at a job, you can guide others when needed. And in the second column, you might be searching for things that can make you feel like an imposter. It can be that you think people might not like you, but do you have evidence for that? Maybe not. Most of the time, we feel like imposters without any evidence. So, trying to forcefully collect the evidence can help us to identify our strengths. Sometimes we can even find areas to improve on, but importantly, we realize that we are not that big of an imposter like we would think. So, that will be all for today, and I will see you in another video where we will be talking more about neuroscience, productivity, and confidence. Till then, you can stay connected with me by subscribing to the channel.